Hello everyone, welcome once again to the channel. A lot of things have changed since last studio tour, and really I would like to show you what have changed since then, and also show you how possible it is to build your own budget studio. Since I've got one and I've got all the things, I would like to tell you the good, the bad and the ugly, and also get into details of how to connect it, which cables do you need, and actually how good it is or how bad it is. So if you are interested on it or you are curious about it, make sure you stay the whole video because it's gonna be a good one. R1 Productions. So the first you wanna do is really make sure you buy the good things and the right stuff you need in order to connect everything together. So let's start with our interface. I've got into the website in Thomann. So this is the Bheringer ADA8200. It is $469 and it has 8 preamps, 8 in and outs, also Adat possibility connection and USB possibility. The only downside is that you need a power supply in order to use it. You don't need to buy it. It comes with all these things that you watch it on the screen right now. So that is our interface at the moment. In order to expand these 8 port connections, we need another unit to connect it. This will be the Bheringer ADA8200, which it is for $159. Amazon is still in you at the moment, so pay attention, better buy it in Thomann. This is just inputs and outputs, which will allow you to communicate via Adat, as the name says, with your interface. So how does it work? With the Bheringer UMC1820, you will get one cable which says out to the input, as you are watching on the screen, and then this output back into the input of the interface. That will make a link of 16 in and outs for your computer for around $300 or something more. Later on, we need cables. Which cables do you need? Well, unfortunately, you need XLR outs, and therefore I will check for these snake cables. So I suspect that your outboard gear has XLR in and outs, as well 1/4 inch jack connection. So in this case, we're gonna connect the XLR to the input of our analog gear, and later on for jumping back into the Adat Ultra gain, which this will be on the front side, we got XLR and also line in with 1/4 inch jack. So which will, in this case and for this example, I will be getting the T-Snake MXP1830, which is output XLR and TRS, as you can see. It's important that you buy it in stereo because each one of these cables is capable to manage stereo information, and not like the guitar one, which has only one of the tips. So you really want TRS for this one. Later on, we have the Bheringer Studio monitor, which is the one I'm having right here. We're gonna get in detail later. And this is for $39. And what it does is help you to select the source. A couple of speakers you can connect here and switch between them. You can mono, mute, and de-emit as well. And also you can choose which kind of monitor. So first you have 2 sources of audio. This could be your interface or anything else that you have. And later on you have the speakers, which you can choose it here within A and B. I always have it in A because then the bottom is not pressed every time. And so it's preserving the life of the thing. So afterwards, of course, you need Adat cables. I recommend 3 meters at least, because unless these 2 units are going to be together in the same rack area, you really will need something long. My creative idea was, we'll have my interface here, but however, the other thing way beyond me in order to have it more distributed for the space. So you need 2 of them, 3 meters at least for my taste and for later purposes, of course. Later on, you will need this cable, which 2 of them will be from the Bheringer Studio M. So for example, source inputs and source outputs. As you see clear over here, we've got A and B. You always want to connect in A. The main output of your interface, in this case where you put the volume on, in the Bheringer UMC1820, it is this bottom over here, which says main out. main out 1 and 2. This, you will get a cable from here, main out 1 and 2. So you get that cable into A area, and later in the outputs, A, not A and B. You want A or B. That's very important and clear to say, because otherwise you will connect one cable here, and then you will have source problems. And no, it works like this. So from A to A or B to B, but not A to B, all right? So you want this cable to then get A cables, which will be the output. Then you connect this cable into the speaker, and that's the way that you manage how to connect all this together. So that's all what we need. And when we go to the main thing, we got a subtotal of 442 euros. Okay, this is what, as example, I've get. This, of course, excluding speakers, electricity, other cables, analog outboard gear, depending on what you want to connect, microphones. That is excluding a lot of things, even plugins. So this is the basics to put your professional budget studio running straight away. So what happened once we get out of here? We got into our DRW, and now I'd like to give you a tour in order to show you how I have my studio connect. Alright, so from that perspective, I'd like to show you what my idea was. So I have a side rack over here, as you may know, and my interface is running right behind me. So when I'm working at the studio, I like to have control of several things, but the main thing I like to have control is into the computer. I don't want to have a patch bay or select things, especially because these things are for specific tasks, let's say. So it's not that I need to run a super professional console, 82 inputs and outputs thing, but just to produce, I don't know, a band or the basics of the band, ideas and other things, is proper to do all these jobs. So the order that I've got is, interface is connected to the computer via USB, and there start the splits. This is the Pro MPA2, which is a preamp for microphones, but also could be used for other purposes. Gain staging, could be using as a saturator, I don't know. Could give him body with this impedance knob that we have over here. We'll get later some tests in order for you to know. So I've got 2 channels of this, which will start in the interface from up to down. The 8 input over here is coming from this side of the preamp. This preamp is in stereo. I could use it in dual mono or in stereo. In this case, I'm using it in dual mono because I'm splitting the signal in 2 different purposes. For example, I can use it this side, while this I can be recording with the other connected to the mic straight. So there's the mic coming to this, and later on to the number 8 input in my interface. Number 7 still being this preamp, but now on this side. So I don't need to connect a microphone over here in order to use it. It's coming as an analog input and as an analog insert from my interface. From the 7 output, jumping back into the 7 input. That is important. It's good for your organization, actually. Later on, we've got the number 6. The number 6 I've got for this small DA box in case I've got active instruments coming into here. And it's a XLR cable straight into the channel 6 in the interface. So we'll get to it later on. How do we have connect the Ultra again? 8200. So it is 1 and 2 are destined for the multi-effect pedal and the Presonus Studio channel. So they are 2 separate signals, and we will talk about an issue that I'm experiencing right now with the budget studio, or let's say limitation. If you don't have problem with it, we can just manage to get over it. Later on, we've got 3 and 4 for the R Pro VLA, 5 and 6 for the equalizer, and the last 2 inputs and outputs designated for the multi-effects. So what can you be able to do with all these things? Alright guys, so on the right side of the screen, you're gonna be having what I'm doing right here on the screen, and the first inserts that I've got are the 7 in and out straight off my interface. That translates into this side of the preamp, and what I can do with this track is the next. But then I'm gonna be careful the moment of the gain staging. I can give some impedance, but better out for this track. However, more output is always welcome, impedance, I don't want any low cut, and I like to invert the first and high plate voltage. What you're listening right now is that track into the preamp. However, for other purposes, you always can use it in parallel mode, or I don't know, whatever other thing you would like to use it. For example, if I collapse this track in mono, now you will listen to the difference. This is what the impedance does, and with more kick punching. And that was the preamp. So now let's check out what can I do with the rest of the things. Alright guys, so from this perspective, I've got my guitar cable straight from my guitar, and now I'm going to connect it into, and now as you can see in the DAW, we've got some signal. It isn't necessary to play that much, just making sure you are receiving signal. However, what are we doing now? As you may see in the computer, I've got here an external insert. That is actually what allows me to connect any input of my interface with anything into my outboard gear. So in this case, I'll connect the multi-effect pedal, and I'm gonna show you how it sounds. What are the advantages of this? So I could, for example, hit record, and now I can play back all what I've done in clean tone, or passing it through the pedal board. So I'm able to record it in real time, or to save it later for clean DAI. So I'm having 2 shots in 1 take. That is a possibility that anything could give you in any time. About sound quality, preamps, and whatsoever, well, judge it for yourself. And that's how I'm able in 1 take to do whatever I want, from A to B to C and D. So whatsoever, I can now disconnect this and plug it into my input number 1 on the interface. So as you see, it's connected right away, and what is gonna happen, I'm going to select it into my DAW, as you may see right now. So I'm going to select input left 1, and now should be able to get signals straight away. What is going to happen? Exactly the same. However, now I'm in input 1, doing the same thing. But what if I want to, I don't know, this time connect it over here. Now I'm in the 7 output of my preamp. However, what I can do is select it in the DAW. And now I could have the properties of having a 2 preamp kind of. Or I can shoot it down a little bit. I can give plus 20 dB of gain, more output, impedance high. Or can just clip it as much as I can. And I get more saturation. And the same story. So those are the properties to connect everything on a determined way. These were my choices. But how does it work at the moment of using Outboard gear with, I don't know, a track or a master track? Well, let's discover it right now. Alright guys, I'll be sharing you on the left side of the screen my computer view. So the way this is connected is, in the first side we've got the Art Pro MPA, then we got the Presonus Studio channel. Afterwards, we got the Art Pro VLA in Adat 3 and 4, 5 and 6 for the equalizer, and 7 and 8 is for the multi-effect. So we're gonna be checking this track, and I will be switching on and quitting bypassing while the track is playing. So I can drop these 20 dBs and give some gain over here. Make a low cut, but I don't want those things at the moment, so I'm gonna soft and threshold that way, like attack a little bit up, release quick, and some gain. And now let's take off bypass. This compression now is engaged. Now a little bit of output. I'm in 0 right now. Some more gain, or low and 20 dBs of gain out. Now I'd like to go to the Art Pro VLA, and this I achieve doing simple as this and engaging it. Huge volume change. Of course, you always want this thing as a master boss, so you want to achieve some soft settings. You can also stereo link it, and as a result you get this as a panning bottom. so we don't want that at the moment. And now I'm gonna match it again. And now what happens if I suddenly will turn on the Presonus Studio channel? Volume shoot down a little bit. But this I can compensate. Now I like to turn on the equalizer, which is on the downside, as I said before, 5 and 6. And what is happening over here is that it's entirely bypassed, but now I can engage it. And let's say, for example, I go to the geographic equalizer, then I like to go to the high frequencies. Frequency barrier. Then we got the stereoizer. And now I like to go to the multi-effect, which is, in this case, I've got a harmonic decider. And I also can play with stuff like, and I can play with the mix or the volume. As you may notice, the bass increases a lot. Other thing that people do not say a lot in videos is that depending on the order that you set for each one of these units, the effect of course will change drastically. In this case, I'm gonna change the U bass, which I got in this one, I will put in front on the R Pro VLA, and let's see what happens. The Art Pro VLA gets oversaturated because it's compressing all the low frequencies of the U bass. So now I can turn it on again, but maybe regulate some frequencies. So now we are into the Bheringer Studio M, And this is it's a passive unit. You don't have to worry about preamps and stuff like that because it's a passive unit. So whatever is coming out of your interface is gonna pass it through. It doesn't gonna affect on any matter the signal flow of your chain because it's just a passive monitor studio controller. However, I want to show you what it's capable to do. So now you're listening into my DJI mic and I'm gonna play a track. So what I've done is make the main out of the interface until a point which to me this is producing and mixing, and this level is for mastering. Anything beyond this middle point for me will be too loud. So I can mono, I don't know if you listen to the difference right now, can DM it, mute it, put it all back. Now it's mute because I don't have any other source of sound, but I could change it. And the same will apply if I choose the monitor B. I don't have any other speaker connected, so it's only A. Therefore, if you have A, B, or whatsoever, the same as here, the end result will be mute. So you have this, nothing, nothing, this one. Mute, mute, DM. If I take this off, it's gonna collapse a lot. This monoing, which is very good at that actually. So if I will mono my track into the master, it will sound like this. Now let's hear it. Now I'm taking the mono out in the track, and now I'm taking the mono out of here. It's more wide. You hear also better the stereo effect. But well, I don't know how I'm gonna process this because I'm recording on screen and I'm recording through the microphone as well. But well, this is all what it does, and that is the only thing you want it for. Alright guys, so let me know in the comments below what do you think about this budget studio. I don't know, it has some gaps, but if you don't mind to deal with those problems on a daily basis, I mean, is pretty much it. What is this studio suitable for? To record, to track drums, to track percussions, to track guitars, to track violins. All the rest depend of the setup of microphones that you have in order to record all the various instruments. Remember that the most important is the technique that you use in order to capture them and get a lot of control over the room that you are recording. So yeah, I'm glad to have this studio. I hope to run it for the coming years, depending on how it goes. If updates do not kill it for me or something, I'm planning to get another interface in order to get this fella over here somewhere else and give a second life. But this will be a surprise for hopefully Studio Tour 2026. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what do you guys think over this budget studio, if it's worth it, if it's not, if it's good to start or if it's good to produce professional music with high quality. I believe results talk by themselves. So well, that was R1 Productions for today. I hope you liked this video and I see you the next one. That was R1 Productions for today. My name is Ruben. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video. Este maldito aparato. Ya, no sé, el poder de la edición tiene que hacer algo. Te vas a mentar la madre con el poder de la edición, pero bueno, vámonos para. So one of the reasons why I always wanted to put this way my studio is because I really want to focus in searching the effect with time. Doesn't matter how clean or how dirty the signal is, I could process it through all these things that we're watching over here. So now you're gonna be listening the audio. 3 y make the step in, secure of himself.